Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, this is some nice upbeat stuff here for you. Plenty of reasons to be happy today if you're a Utah Mammoth fan, if you're a resident here in the state of Utah and you're watching your NHL hockey franchise go to the Stanley Cup Playoffs for the first time since they've been here in this city. And it only took to year 2 to get there. And they clinched the wild card 1 spot last night. Watching this one was a lot of fun. I made the prediction yesterday on our show. It was going to be 2 goals from Cools, and it was going to be 4-2. I'll take 2 goals from Schmaltzy and a 5-3 win for this Mammoth team. Joining us right now, Mike Folta, Utah Mammoth play-by-play radio voice, joining us on the show as he likes to do every week. Mike, that must have been a fun night last night, dude.
Total dominance from the Utah Mammoth last night against the Winnipeg Jets. And that was the last objective, like the last tangible objective of the season, was to secure wild card 1. Utah still has another game tomorrow against the St. Louis Blues, but there was still seeding to play for. And Utah showed up and just totally annihilated a Jets team that has had a tough go this season. I think they'll be back maybe next year, next couple years, but the Mammoth are dancing, and now they know what seat they're sitting in on the train to the postseason. Boys, it's first class. Wild card 1 is where you want to be. It's first class like how JJ flies all the time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's good.
I wish.
Where do you have to sit?
I need to get your travel agent, Mike.
Mike, where do you have to sit on the plane?
Baggage compartment?
No, I'm saying, I don't know. Do they mix you guys up at all? Do you just go over and go, I'll sit next to Kirby this flight? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
So we walk past the players on the way back to the back of the plane, and they like the chairs they have are unbelievable. I think most of them are have the massage buttons in there. I think a lot of them are massage chairs. There's a few tables around like a card table, or a few chairs around a card table as well. So about half the team is playing cards on any given flight. And it's pretty impressive, guys. It's an 82-game season, 41 of which are on the road. You're flying to every single game, and it's almost the exact same players playing every single flight. Yeah. So I've never been to one of those games, nor will I ever be invited, but I could just about tell you the score based on the reaction of guys we see from the back of the plane.
No wonder this team plays so well on the road.
I was also going to say, I bet the plane down in Phoenix was not nearly as nice. But that's neither here nor there.
Probably Frontier Airlines.
we're focusing mostly.
You got to pay for your carry-on.
They have to sit on each other's laps. Mike, I do want to know about this team with the clinching last night that they did of that wild card 1 spot. We went through, and I think we talked a little bit about what the Pacific path would be, and still, like you said, the seeding is going to matter over the next couple of days of what they're going to be able to see in the first round, and then also potentially what the second round would look like. Is there a possibility? Is there a ceiling for this team in this playoffs, and was it improved because they got that wild card 1 spot?
Yeah, it's absolutely improved, and you think the Utah Mammoth have a better draw as the top wild card team than the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild, who are they're the second and third team in the Central Division. Right. They have more points, a lot more points than Utah and yet it's the Mammoth that has an easier path through the postseason. I think it's, as a fan, like as a greedy fan, it's hard not to look at the bracket and say, like, yeah, we could be in the Western Conference Finals. And I don't think we have like odds or, even analytic numbers for the Mammoth in their first round series against whomever it may be. But I think the odds are going to be pretty close. Like, whatever the analytics say, it's going to be pretty close to 50-50 that Utah wins their first round matchup. And then whoever they play in the second round, it's going to be close to 50-50 again. So you do that math, guys. You take a half times a half, you get a quarter. That means it's a 25% chance for the Mammoth to reach the Western Conference Finals. You take those odds, my friend. You take those.
No doubt about it. And look, we don't want to get it too far ahead because there's still some business that has to be taken care of tonight, with Vegas either winning or losing tonight. But we've talked about it. The odds favor Vegas. They're up 2 points. All they need is 1 point tonight to make that happen. So let's assume Vegas is that opponent. As you start looking at that matchup, why do you like Utah's chances in that matchup?
Well, I like Utah's chances against Vegas because the Golden Knights have been searching for goaltending all season. Their head coach currently has coached them for a total of 7 games, I believe it is now. They've got one more. John Tortorella took over for Bruce Cassidy with 8 games left in the regular season. Carter Hart has stepped in to be their goaltender as of late. I'm not sure if he's going to be their number one or not when they hit game 1 of their playoff series. But I think for the goaltending reason, you feel decent about Vegas. Also, guys, the Mammoth are 2-3 against the Golden Knights this year. And it's a 5-hour drive down there to Vegas. Like, there's going to be a lot of Mountain Blue at the Fortress.
Especially when you can get in for $80.
Well, and the Mammoth have played really well in that building dating back to last year. There was a game where Utah was struggling last season around Thanksgiving, and they walk into the Fortress and they beat the brakes off of Vegas 6-0. And that was a better Vegas team. Utah scored 3 goals on 3 shots the last time they were in Vegas. So look, everything's totally different in the playoffs. Like, you can't take regular season results and extrapolate them to the postseason. But that's all the data we have on the Mammoth. We don't have any postseason information on them. So we're using what we got. And I would rather see anybody but the best player in the world, Connor McDavid and the Oilers, in that first round.
Agree.
Mike, when you see how this team has been playing, you've had certain guys, not like the other teammates have not shown up, but you've had guys that are hitting a high right now. And I think Alex Kerfoot is one of those guys that doesn't get enough credit. Or I think we've all seen like how big of an impact that Kerfoot's had over the last few weeks, being 100% after the injury that's kind of kept him hobbled for a good chunk of the season. Your thoughts on guys like Alex Kerfoot and others who are hitting a stride right now exactly when you want to see him doing it?
Well, Kerfoot's absence was maybe one of the quieter storylines of the season that should have been louder, because we talked a lot about Logan Cooley being gone for 28 games, and rightfully so, right? He's a dynamic player, but Kerfoot got hurt the first day in training camp and missed basically the first half of the season. And without him, you're losing one of your top penalty killers. You're missing a guy who can literally play on any line. You can put him on the 4th line. He'll be effective, but he's skilled enough to play with guys like Keller and Schmaltz on the top line. You can put him on the power play. You can play him in late game situations. He can take faceoffs. We call him the Swiss Army knife. Bear has called him the brains of the operation. He's a Harvard guy too.
Yeah.
He married a Harvard grad. So like, he's got the brains on him, but he is so valuable to this team. And even when he came back in the middle of the year, he wasn't quite 100%. Because remember, guys, he didn't have a training camp. Like, he didn't have any build up to the season. He just parachuted in and was playing against the best hockey players in the world. So he struggled, especially offensively, for a couple games. But now the play never dies on his stick. Like, if he gets the puck, something good is about to happen next. And he's playing on a 3rd line with J.J. Peterka and Michael Carcone that is really as fun offensively as a 3rd line as you will see in the National Hockey League. A lot of teams' third lines are straight, simple, kind of straight ahead guys that try and just check the other team's best players. Well, with Kerfoot, Peterka, and Carcone, you got Peterka, who's a 3-time 20-goal scorer, Carcone, who's one of the fastest players in the league, and Kerfoot, who fills in the cracks and does everything. That's been a really fun line. They were fantastic last night, and Kerfoot's right in the middle of it, literally. He's the center of that line. I think his playoff experience, especially with his days from Colorado and Toronto, is going to be so valuable for the Mammoth. His voice is so meaningful on that bench.
And so many good veterans on this team to go with the great youth. Nick Schmaltz has been such a great story this year, and it just keeps getting better. 2 big goals last night, career high of 33. I mean, he just obliterated his previous career high. You talked to him there's so many things you're probably seeing with him. What has been the difference in his elevated play this year as you've watched him the entire season?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think the defensive side of his game is really strong. I think he'll get some Selke votes this year. The Selke Trophy goes to the best defensive forward in the NHL. I don't think he'll be in the top 3 or the top 5, but I think he'll be the top 10 or top 12 of voting across the league, which is still saying something. Some of the best plays that we've seen all year have started with a Nick Schmaltz defensive play. Like, think back to when the Philadelphia Flyers could have walked in and hit an empty netter and beat the Mammoth in regulation, but Schmaltz chases the guy down, strips him from behind, and sends Keller back the other way. Utah ties it, and they win in overtime. So I think, Schmaltz elevating his game as a center is a huge storyline for the team as well, because he took over a center role when Logan Cooley went down due to injury. And guys, let's be honest too, it's a contract year for Nick Schmaltz. He signed the big ticket with the Mammoth, 8 years, $8 million per year. That'll start next year. So he had a lot to play for financially, but he's one of the leaders of this group. And he really hasn't been in the playoffs since his rookie year in Chicago, I believe it was.
Yes.
He was supposed to be in the playoffs with Arizona in the bubble in 2020, but he got hit in the head by Ryan Reeves right before the postseason started. So he hasn't been in the playoffs in a decade. You can tell he's hungry to get back.
Mike, as you watch this thing roll out, and we've seen the development of the team over the past couple of years, it's going like exactly the way that Bill Armstrong said that they wanted it to happen, which is developing last year. They didn't feel like they were quite there yet. And it was like, I mean, right now, and JJ and I were talking about this at the front end of the show, it's like, man, this team feels so much more put together. They feel so, and yet they're only 3 points ahead right now of where they were last year at the end of the year. And they could end only 3 points ahead of that. But there is something different. What's the intangible maybe that we miss for a team that is able to get a team like the Mammoth into the playoffs?
Yeah, it is interesting because, we're here celebrating like, we're world conquerors last year, and we were the junior varsity peons a season ago, even when you said there's only a couple points of separation. Some of that is the surroundings. Other teams haven't been as good. Some of that is the Mammoth lost a lot of overtime games last year, so they got a lot of loser points where Utah they've lost, I don't know if they've lost more in regulation, but haven't had the benefit of some of those loser points this year. But they've won more games. That's a meaningful thing. I think the way this team has snapped losing skids is impressive to me. The longest losing skid this year is 4 games for the Mammoth. They've done that a couple times. They've only lost 4 games in regulation consecutively one time. And that was all the way back in November. So, you think of the worst parts of the season, it was in the hardest part of the schedule, and it was in November. And ever since then, this team's been able to course correct really quickly. Mm-hmm. And over the last couple months, they've been able to course correct within games, not just within the schedule. So I think that bounce back ability is impressive to me. And that's important in the playoffs, guys, because you're not going to sweep every series in the playoffs. Right. You're going to lose a game in the playoffs, and it's going to feel like the world's ending. And you're going to have to wake up the next day and find a way to win the next game in the series. So that bounce back ability of this team is something that I really like. And it's a good 5-on-5 team. It's a better 5-on-5 team than what they had last year, and that's important because, as you guys know, there's no 3-on-3 overtime in the playoffs.
Right.
Special teams, very important, but 5-on-5 is usually a pretty good indicator of playoff success.
Hockey fans here in Utah are going to be watching the Stanley Cup playoffs different than ever before because now they have a dog in the fight. You look around the league and you see some of these matchups already. Not all of them are determined, obviously. We got a couple more nights before we know for sure. But based on what you see right now and what could happen, what are some of the things that you are going to be looking for just as a hockey fan that fans should watch? Which of these series has just got you locked in thinking, I got to watch every game of that?
Well, if you start in the Eastern Conference, I mean, you have the battle of the Keystone State, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, meeting in round one. I don't know what Gritty, the Philly mascot, is going to do to the poor penguin they have in Pittsburgh, but it ain't going to be pretty.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. So I'm looking at that, and obviously you have Crosby involved in the playoffs too. Philly, a big surprise to make the postseason, so that'll be a fun one. But how about the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah.
Hadn't made the playoffs in 14 years. Now the New York Jets own the longest playoff drought in North American pro sports. Sorry, Jets fans.
Why are the Jets catching strays today?
Hey, listen.
Nothing against Zach Wilson. Nothing against Zach Wilson.
Oh, trust me, he don't care no more.
Oh.
But the Buffalo Sabres are one of the best stories in sports.
Yeah.
Erasing a huge playoff drought, and they won their division. They didn't just sneak in; they won their division.
Yeah.
I'll be watching that. I mean, how can you not look at the Central Division where the Mammoth play, the best division in hockey? The Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild, those are two teams that could easily win a Stanley Cup, and they're playing in the first round. And Utah is laughing because we're benefiting from the current playoff format. Teams like Dallas and Minnesota, they are so frustrated with the way the playoffs are currently set up right now. So that'll be a great round one matchup. And then I think the Mammoth are a great story. It's Utah's first time to the playoffs, and the Mammoth have a legitimate chance to make a run in the postseason, not just because of who they play, but because of how good this team is. So I think those are the big things that I'm looking at across the league.
Has the league, I'm sure it's been brought up, I'm sure it's a conversation during the collective bargaining agreements, and the commissioner, Gary Bettman's got to figure some stuff out maybe with it as well, but we hear the complaints about the setup of the playoffs. We've seen when the complaints were in the other direction for the prior model, and it just seems like they can't win on that. What is there a better version of this, or is this like a function this year? It looks so bad this year because of how bad the Pacific Division was. It was like, you normally don't have a division that bad for us to be able to complain that much about how the matchups are going to go.
That's part of it. I mean, the Pacific Division is the worst division in hockey since 2011, 2012, wow. I believe. So it's pretty darn bad. I mean, collectively, their points percentage is like, I think maybe 500, maybe. And again, you shouldn't be at 500 because the loser point keeps you at 500. Winning gets you well above. Anyway, math. I know not your guys' strong suit.
No.
But I think that Gary Bettman, and from what you hear out of the commissioner's office, that he likes the regional format because it keeps rivalries intact, or that's the idea of it. Like if it was 1 through 8, we're not getting Philly and Pittsburgh in the first round.
Right.
And like one of the great stories of the NHL the last 2 years has been the rivalry between Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Why is it a rivalry? Because the Penguins were beating the Capitals every year in the playoffs, even when the Capitals were the best team in the East. And there was a narrative around Ovechkin that he couldn't win the big one. And then they finally get past Pittsburgh, and they do. So that's a regional rivalry that would go away in 1 through 8 or 1 through 16. So that's why they have it. And in hockey, we get rivalries because of the playoffs, right? Like you play 31 teams during the regular season. It's really hard to organically create rivalries in the regular season because you're playing everybody. But in the postseason, when you repetitively run into the same team and play them in 7-game fistfights, that's when we get rivalries like Florida and Tampa. Like, yes, they're state rivals, but that rivalry is born in the postseason. And Tampa was so good, for so long and they pushed Florida around that it forced the Panthers to say, you know what? We're tired of getting pushed around. Get in here, Sam Bennett. Get in here, Matthew Tkachuk. And what do you know? Boom, the Panthers go to three straight Stanley Cup finals. And so you lose that regionality if you go 1 through 8.
Yeah, and I get that, and I understand the logic behind it. It's just last year we had Tampa Bay and Florida in the first round, and you could argue that the winner of that series was going to win the Cup, and that's kind of what happened, right? So do you see the league revisiting this anytime soon, or do you think the commissioner's he's going to dig his heels in on this?
Yeah, I think – look, I'm not in the commissioner's office. I'll say that. I'm just repeating what I hear from Elliot Friedman's a great reporter with 32 Thoughts with Sportsnet. Yep. So I get a lot of my hockey insight on the commissioner's office from him. He's my bug in Gary Bettman's office. But from what you hear from the commissioner, who we've met, by the way, he's been to Utah several times now.
He loves it here.
He like when he thinks he's right, he thinks he's right. Which I get. I relate to that. And here's the other thing too, guys. If you want to win a Stanley Cup, you're gonna have to beat a good team somewhere.
True.
Right. And like Dallas and Minnesota are complaining about playing each other in the first round. Well, you'd have to play each other sometime. You're both Western Conference opponents. Like if it wasn't the first round, it'd probably be the second, or if not that, then the third. And maybe from a business perspective, you complain because you could lose out on revenue, but you can't get to the Stanley Cup finals without beating at least one really, really good team.
Mike is a hockey guy though, and what would kid Mike Folta be thinking now to be able to call for the first time ever some playoff hockey here in the state of Utah for an NHL team?
Don't screw it up. It's you think of. I think of like the highlight reels I would listen to as a kid or when I was young in the industry, and like these Hall of Fame moments. And I think there's definitely an onus on the broadcaster to make it special. I tell you what, guys, though, I think there's an onus on the broadcaster to get out of the way too. Oh, yeah. And there are times when the Delta Center is chanting Veggie's name where I just shut up. And Ben Russell, our engineer, just turns the crowd mic up, and you just hear the Delta Center chorusing out the name of a Mammoth player. And so it's gonna be a big responsibility. It's one I'm looking forward to, but there's gonna be a challenge to rise to the moment, but there will also be a challenge to get the heck out of the way and let the Delta Center and let the atmosphere tell the story for itself.
Well said. Mike Folta, radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth, joining us right here, JJ and Alex. Hey, Mike, have a great call tomorrow on Game 82, and then we're looking forward to the rest of the way to, and hopefully some long playoffs or many playoff games you're going to be able to call, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll see you guys on the plaza. Catch you later.
There you go. Can't wait.
Mike Folta, everybody. I love how he's a little bit nervous. Don't screw it up. It's awesome. He's phenomenal at his gig, by the way.
No, he's done a tremendous job.
Pluck a guy out who, as far as I know, didn't have any NHL
experience.
Rockford, right? He was the minor league hockey guy,
leagues.
But he's got an awesome voice, and if you've ever listened to his call, you're not lagging at any moment. There's no, what's the score? Just say the score, dude. And we've seen that before. You're like, I haven't heard the score mentioned in 14 minutes since I've been tuning in.
The first thing you do when you tune in, if you want to know what the score is.
Give me the score. Yeah. All right.
By the way, the Stars, as of right now, the Stars would have, if there was a 1 through 8 playoff format to that point where the Stars having to play the Wild, the Stars would have to play the Ducks in the first round. Probably would prefer that matchup over the Wild, but the Wild would draw the Oilers in a 3-6 matchup.
That's not a cakewalk.
So who would you rather play?
Yeah, the Ducks. Right?
Well, for sure the Ducks, but if you're the Wild, would you rather play the Stars or the Oilers?
Oh, yeah, for sure the Oilers.
Not by much, though.
Dallas
there's
Stars.
a lot of parity in the league, and, for people that complain about the playoff format, I get I mentioned it, I brought it up. Florida and Tampa Bay should have been the Eastern Conference Final last year. Those are the two best teams. Probably the two best teams in the NHL. And the Lightning were out in the first round, and they were out 4-1.
So when people complain about the seeding issues and they go, oh, it's all screwed up. When the 1 seed doesn't win that 1-8 matchup, you go, it's not my fault.
Right.
Not my fault. We had it set up. We had it set up to see.
And it's happened in this format.
For sure. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Mike Folta's appearance, of course, brought to you by the good folks of Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. When we return, we've got ourselves some Utah spring football to chop up and talk a little bit about what Morgan Scalley's seeing up there on the hill in his first spring as the head coach. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nice pull, Annapolis. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being with us on the program today. We're getting to our top 10. Or no, we're not into our top 10 yet. I was jumping ahead of myself. I have a good top 10, so I got excited. So wait 15 more minutes, and I'll get you a good top 10, right? The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals honor the people that impact youth sports in our communities. If you nominate a youth sports volunteer that you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week, you do it at kslsports.com/contests. And then every Thursday, we pick a winner, and we read those winners off right here over the air. They get a shout-out on the social media pages of KSL Sports and on the website as well. And they also get $250 to Beehive Meals. It is the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week program. Hey, I was driving down the freeway the other day. Saw a freshened up billboard. You know what I'm talking about?
I thought you just said I saw a fresh one.
There's a fresh one out there on the roadway. Watch out, 53rd South.
Freshened up billboard? What'd you see? Oh, I know what you saw. But I'll let you say it.
The super smiley Kalani Sitake
I did the same thing, by the way.
and the ridiculously cheesy smiley Morgan Scalley pimping the kidney cars. Instead of, we went through
First
it, man.
time in 20 years that billboard has not featured Kyle Whittingham.
We've seen that billboard go through a lot.
Yeah.
So initially you see, I don't know when they started it. I don't know if it was the Ronnie Mack and Lavelle Edwards era, but
I feel like it was.
for sure, my favorite thing when I used to do the BYU pregame shows, they had a ton. They sponsored a ton of the pregame, and they also did a ton of the just stuff during the week on KSL Radio, and Bronco and Kyle Whittingham had these recorded spots that they, number one, 100% were not in the same room for, because they never would do that. But it was a back and forth. And it was the least effort I've ever seen out of anybody on a microphone. And we've heard some on these very airwaves during commercials that were like, I don't know if they're into that. Right? So it was, and I will never forget it, because it's like, everybody knows Utah has got the best fans who like to donate the most. And then, and that was Bronco. And then Kyle would go, no way, Bronco. So you got the freshened up new billboard.
No way, Bronco.
You got the freshened up billboard, two guys who actually like to be in the same room together, Morgan Scalley, Kalani Sitake. It was nice. It was good.
That Kidney Foundation thing started back in late 80s with Lavelle.
So they did it.
McBride.
They for sure did it.
They've done the annual golf
I've
tournament.
hosted the golf tournament, or I've emceed the golf tournament.
I've
a bunch
covered
of times.
them. It's
It's
great.
I'm telling you.
And you always see those billboards, and it did throw me for a loop to see Morgan on it, and it was like, whoa.
I know.
That really is, like, obviously I've known for a while that Morgan's been the head coach, but when you see Morgan on the billboard, it's like, bam, dude is the head coach of Utah.
Man. You got to do all the stuff now.
He is the man.
And you remember that billboard, too.
You're on the kidney billboard.
Because Kyle Whittingham was pointing like,
oh, yeah.
I'm freaking watching you right now, dude, who's driving down the road.
With his whistle in his mouth.
Yeah.
Stop speeding.
They made Kalani and Morgan wear the...
Hey, stop driving slow in the fast lane.
We're going to take some pictures. Will you bring your whistle, coach? And just bring me the most generic gear that you can wear.
Merge like a zipper. Stop driving like a Utah.
If you change lanes when there's a double white line in the HOV lane, I promise you, this finger will be right in your eyeball. I will find you. All right?
I will hunt you down.
So that was good.
I will kill you.
Anyway, long-winded way to fire it up and just say, hey, we're still all getting used to
Everybody driving around has seen the billboards.
I know.
They had the same, like, double take. Oh, that's
brilliant
different.
marketing because everybody looked and
Welcome,
went,
Morgan.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So Morgan Scalley, obviously, we're all still trying to get used to Morgan being the head coach up at Utah. For us in the media, it's a really, really good time because he's eager to talk about things, and he's been on this side of the microphone, by the way, before. He's seen it. He knows everybody in the market, and he knows how to deal with it. And he's quick to give you an answer here because he is extremely pleased and to see the progress of his team, and this is what he said in his media availability with the Utes up on the hill during their practice.
Really good. No more live work. We did a really nice job of getting the live work in. Defense getting tackling, offense fighting through tackles. Learning that guys are going to be punching for balls. So loved the live work that we got in. Seeing progress both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Key positions that still need developing: offensive line, defensive line, corner group. And the coaches are doing a heck of a job. But this May will really determine how invested they are, right? Their behavior will show whether or not they want to be elite. But I think everyone has a firm understanding of what needs to happen during the off time, and I expect it, them to come back ready to go.
Morgan, what's your health been like this spring?
Really good. Really good. Cut down on the soft tissue injuries. And really it was, I think, maybe a hamstring or two. A concussion, and then maybe a sprained knee. But other than that, with as much live work as you're doing, stuff happens. But very pleased with how we came out of this spring ball.
How would you assess?
I should say, knock on wood, 2 practices to go.
How would you assess the progress of Ike Garcia this spring?
Man, there's a guy that's found new life, coming off the injury, and injuries will do something to you mentally, and whether it's expectations. I'm just happy that he is finally, seeing success, believing in himself. He's getting, and he's always gotten great coaching, but he's finally getting to the point where it's clicking for him. And he's playing well at multiple positions along the offensive line, so we expect him to be a big contributor this season.
Which group have you seen have the most growth this spring so far?
I would continue to say the offensive line, and just because you're talking about a brand new crew having to work together, having to communicate together with a new offensive line coach. You come out here and you can see some situational work where you're not really trying to game plan versus each other, so things may look one way, but I'm very pleased with the progress that our O-line is made, and still a lot to go. But and I would say probably the corner group as well has been a very nice, I wouldn't say surprise, because Sharif's always done a great job of developing those guys, but very pleased with how that group's coming to shape.
For that offensive line, obviously nothing can replicate live work. How do you kind of help them improve in the off season as they gel and do everything they need to for fall?
Well, a lot of it is if you want to move weight out here on the football field, you have to move weight in the weight room. So that's continued development in the weight room. It's working together during your off time a little bit, but ultimately it's are you taking care of your body during the break? Are you ready when you come back? Because there's still development that needs to happen in June and a little bit of July, but I'm excited for what's to come.
You have a sizable amount of freshmen out here this spring. Who has maybe exceeded your expectations this spring so far of the freshman group you have?
Obots, but you expected him to do some really good things. Who else do we have at freshman?
Marcus Bell, PJ Talkie, Dylan Water.
Yeah, love them. All of them. Yeah. I don't know. I got to watch the film, They're all making progress. I mean, in terms of I would say Kelvin is the guy that, you're saying, okay, you have to be good for us, and that's pressure on him. But he's dealt with all pressure his entire life, up until this point. So I'm excited. Those younger guys, and Bell, you mentioned him. That's a guy that you put a challenge to, and he's going to attack it. You gotta have better hands. You see him out here every single day catching the football, right? Relentless in pursuit of improvement, and I love that attitude. And PJ is a star on the rise. So I appreciate you guys. Excited for the Fan Fest too, for fans to be able to meet these players, meet the new coaches. That's going to be a fun event.
See, I think when coaches do the scrum thing, it's always better because you know how you're shaking hands, kissing babies? Shaking hands and kissing disgusting media members is also what happens. That's the football version of that. Because when they go, gosh, I always love when a coach does that when you're in a scrum and they go, you guys, thank you so much for your work that you do. And everyone's all, no problem. The stifling print guys, anybody who's sitting there, when they go, thank you guys so much for being here.
Well, there's some places where coaches yell at these guys, so
I'm sure
they enjoy that moment.
Well, and at that school, the relationship prior with the coach that they had prior to this, I won't mention any names, but he didn't like these kinds of things, okay? So there you go. Michigan fans are like finding out he doesn't give a lot of sound bites, does he? That's all right. Sound bites coming from Sharon Moore's life, by the way, are pretty wild right now.
Oh, boy.
That sucks.
I'm sorry to laugh at that. But when you played the Whittingham, that sucks. As I mentioned, Sharon Moore, that was brilliant. I can't coach here anymore?
That sucks.
Kyle Whittingham's taking over for me?
That sucks.
As he's taking stuff off of his shelf. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry for you, man. All right, we got to take a break. I love everything Morgan's doing up there, man. It's going to be a fun thing. It's one thing to have energy. We've seen guys with a lot of energy, and it'll fizzle out.
Morgan's energy is not going anywhere, man.
But on top of it, he backs it up with the ability to recruit. I think he's going to hang right in there when it comes to competing with every other team in the Big 12. No problem. He already knows what the standard is. All right, we'll take a break. We will come back. I have that top 10 for you next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Imagine me as like a 14-year-old in my room hearing this. And you're like, my gym teacher, he does suck, dude.
I can really relate to this song.
Like, this is me, man. You guys preach, all right?
Hey, leave those kids alone.
I just remember being
Teacher.
because it does sound like an anthem, like we're all going to get our big boy pants on and just stop going to school ever again.
Can you imagine like a school revolution inspired by this song and like a bunch of kids get like
because they have the chorus of
weapons
kids
together and
they have that chorus of kids in the background that are toward the end of the song.
Feels like an army.
And I was just picturing them like walking down the road. Like, we're not doing this anymore, man. We're not doing this anymore. I'm standing up for myself. By the way, I grew up in Annapolis. This is how old I am. I don't feel like I'm that old, but this kind of stuff does date me. When I lived in Texas, our elementary school and middle school had a thing that you could sign at the front end of the year that you allowed them to inflict corporal punishment in certain situations. Now, for all of you listening at home, that was a wooden paddle.
Mm-hmm.
And our freaking vice principal at my elementary school had it on his wall.
Like a trophy.
Like just an absolute warning. And your parent had to sign off on it. My dad was a Marine, and he's as tough as it gets. He played college football. His dad was a POW in World War II. He's like, That's funny. I will never sign something like that. Let me figure that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My dad's like, I want it. I want the opportunity, not you. No,
that's my job.
Anyway, I don't know why that came up, but my sister and I were talking about, remember that paddle on the wall in Mr. Middleton's office? And you're like, yeah, I think it had holes in it so it could go faster.
Oh, yeah, you put holes in it. It hurts more.
We learned that off of Dazed and Confused, man.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that music, there wasn't no reason we played it. The reason was, if you're calling number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE, that's 801-575-ZONE. You're going to win a pair of tickets to see Brit Floyd. That's your Pink Floyd tribute band at the Maverick Center on June 6th of this year. So there you go. 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. 2 tickets to Brit Floyd. Yeah? It looked like you were going to say something.
No. I was going to make some kind of...
thought control joke?
No. Fake band joke.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, cover bands have as much... Like, those guys... When they're really good, and most cover bands that are like touring are good.
Well, I imagine if they're selling out places like the Maverick Center, they probably are.
It's like the old band, but without all the drug addictions. It's nice.
And the original members, the original artists.
Oh, yeah, that too. I've got a top 10 for you. I think that Mike brought it up. Mike Folta, our radio play-by-play voice for the Mammoth. He brought it up, and I wanted to roll it past you. I wanted to kind of go a little bit deeper. With the Sabres winning that game last night, or winning and clinching the playoffs like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then with the Eastern Conference playoffs taking all the shape, and you're seeing, I mean, that's one of the teams that should be a favorite for the Stanley Cup final. They're that good. But they're off of the list for the longest drought in American sports to miss the playoffs. They're off the list. They were, oh, my goodness. I'm going to see the whole thing here. You got to do it by the full sports. I have them in individual sports here, but I'll just we'll stick to it. We'll do all of them, and I'll give you a ding or not if you're right. So, yeah, I have in front of me the list, the now updated list of teams who've missed the playoffs.
Okay. For the longest amount of
time?
For
the longest amount of time. Currently.
Okay.
On your mark. Get set. Go.
Jets, Cardinals.
Ding. Wait. Ding. Wait, what Cardinals are you talking about?
Arizona Cardinals.
No.
St. Louis Cardinals?
No. I was looking at something
another
else.
Cardinals?
No, I had a different.
No,
you said a name. It's not. They're not on there. I said
Chicago White Sox. Mm-hmm. No. It's not your Mariners.
No.
Angels.
How dare you? Ding.
Yeah, that hurts for a lot of people around here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go NBA. Washington Wizards.
Ding.
Okay. Who else in the NBA? Charlotte Hornets.
Ding.
Okay. New Orleans Pelicans. No. Okay. Go back to the NHL. Who hasn't been in there for a while in the NHL? Gosh dang. Who could it be? The Sharks.
Ding.
Dang. I'm doing good.
Uh-huh.
Doing good. Okay. MLB. A's.
Hold on. Let me get there.
Dang it. Who else would be a long-time loser? Marlins. Oh.
Not on there. Okay, you ready for the different sports?
Sure.
The 4. I didn't really do a 10. They're top 4 in every sport.
Okay,
ready?
we'll go top 4 in all 4
Hornets
sports.
are the worst. 9 seasons.
Yep.
Spurs 6. Trailblazers 4.
Spurs are 6?
Yes.
Whoa,
you wouldn't have said the Spurs because we just think about they're amazing.
On mind.
But
it's
then we
been
go
6 years.
Oh yeah, I guess it's been a while. Yes, 2019 their last playoff appearance. Trailblazers Wizards tied with 4 seasons.
Blazers. How about the Blazers and the Hornets are prop?
Ooh.
No, the Blazers just clinched the playoff spot
there
last
you go.
night.
And the Jazz will replace them on the list for next year.
There you go. Oh, wow.
That's not a good thing.
The Blazers just ended their drought. The Hornets might do it on Friday.
Yeah, they will. I think they will. Angels, Pirates, Rockies, Nationals in that order.
Pirates, Rockies, yes.
Jets, Falcons, Colts, Saints. When you said
Colts?
Yes. 2020 was the last time they did it.
Falcons,
8 seasons. The Jets, 15.
The Falcons have been out of the playoffs for 8 years.
You bet. Red Wings.
Oh, yeah.
In hockey.
They did it again this year, too.
9 seasons. It's going to be 10.
The Red Wings.
Ducks, Sharks, Blackhawks, Blue Jackets, Flyers. There you go.
How did I not
miss
a chance to throw shade at the Blue Jackets?
The NBA one, when I saw Spurs, I was like, he's gonna.
There's no way I would have got.
We would have never guessed it because we just assumed the team is good now, and there we are.
Yeah.
You know, but they had to go through it a little bit. Gosh, to go through it like the Spurs have gone through it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh man, yeah.
Okay.
It's a good reward for some pain.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, let's chat some NBA playoffs since we're already talking about the NBA. Matchups that are in front of us, why the basketball games last night were the best ones we've seen all freaking season long in the NBA. Stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.